And if you're new to my channel, at the moment I'm turning this full transit into a stealthy off-grid, go anywhere, sleep anywhere camper van. And today I've got 2 or 3 things that I need to do. But first I need to finish off my door. I need to finish off insulating it. As you can see, I've started already. Well, I thought before I put the panel back on, I'll show you guys exactly how I insulate my sliding door. And it's quite simple really, it's no mystery, it's no secret. I simply use this loft insulation. Now this is recycled plastic. I'm not going to say I love it, but I do recommend it because it's so easy to work with. It's easy to cut, doesn't make you itch. There you go, I'll even rub it on my face to prove the point. Unlike that fiberglass that just makes you itch like a flea riddled moggy. Yeah, it's great stuff, and it's good for the environment. Well, not really good for the environment, but it helps the environment by using recycled plastic. It's better than it going into landfill or going in our oceans. Yeah, it's much better off in outdoors. Right, anyway, so that's what I use for the bottom of the door, and I simply cut it into squares, put it into place. And for this top section, I cut it into strips. I thread it all the way along there, and that's the entire bottom of the door insulated. Now the top of the door, that's another story, because the top of the door is double skinned. You can't actually get anything in there. Well, you can, and I have done in the past, much to your amusement if you've seen that video. I drilled holes in the double skin, filled it with expanding foam, and to be honest, it ended in disaster. It just made an awful mess, seized all my locks up, and I don't recommend anyone doing that. Do not put expanding foam in these parts of your doors. In fact, you're probably better off just leaving it as it is, because it is double skinned, so the cold metal on the metal on the outside is exposed to the elements. That gets cold and hot in the summer, but it's got a skin on the inside which is completely separate. So do you really need to insulate it? Probably not. And the gap is huge, it's about that thick, that door. So yeah, I think you're better off just leaving it as it is. And at the end of the day, like my van, my camper, I've put a curtain right across that door, and it's a blackout thermal type curtain available from eBay, and it works perfectly fine. I don't even get any condensation on the window, but that's probably due to the fact that my door doesn't fit properly. I've got a big gap at the bottom of the door, goes right along the bottom of the door, so it probably gets a bit of a cold air draft going up, stopping the window from condensating. Unlike this door, now this door fits absolutely perfect. Someone commented in a prior video about there was watermarks on the top of the door, but I've checked it and there's no gaps at the top of the door, there's no gaps down there, there's no gaps on the floor, even up this side. It fits absolutely perfect. And I've shut all the van up and looked for any daylight, there's nothing. So yeah, fortunately this door fits perfectly. So yeah, that aside, once I've finished that off, my next job is to have a good tidy up, because it's a bit messy in here, and then I'm going to use masking tape and mark out on the floor where my furniture's going to go, where the bed's going to go. I'm going to put an L-shaped bed in this van, I'm going to have kitchen cabinets right across there, and once I've marked the floor out, I'm then going to decide where I'm going to put my heater, because that's my next job. Excuse me. Oh, I've been ill all weekend, I'm a bit dehydrated. Had a bit of a dicky belly. Enough about that. Right, so the heater, using our old friend the Chinese diesel heater. I absolutely love these. They're cheap and they work really, really well. They do work well. I do recommend them. Now, when fitting these heaters, you do need to bear one thing in mind. You can't just drill a hole anywhere for the exhaust to go through the floor. You need to get under the van and check where your fuel tank is, most importantly, where your fuel lines run and where your chassis rails are. Otherwise you might come across problems. Just, you know, you can't just say, oh, I'm going to put the heater there and then drill holes, because without checking underneath, not a good idea at all. Sorry, my arm's going dead on the camera. I'm having a good day, am I? Right, so that's my next job, is mark out the floor, work out where I'm going to put the heater. Now in my van I've got the heater in that corner there. The reason I've got it in that corner is because I draw air, fresh air from the cab. I open a window a little bit, so it draws fresh air into the van, heats it, and then circulates it inside the living space. So yeah, I'd like to put that heater in that corner, but the problem is this floor is actually lower than the cab. The cab air floor is about here, so I need to stand the heater up on some kind of platform. Now the trouble with that is that the exhaust will be exposed, and yeah, so I need to work out some kind of heat shield. The other option is to put the heater underneath the bed, but I'm pretty sure my old mate Leon wants me to put it in the same place I've got mine. So I need to figure out how I'm going to protect that exhaust from anything touching it and the possible chance of it catching fire. And we don't want that. But if I can't put it in that corner, then it's going to have to go under the bed. But before I do any of that, I need to mark out the floor with masking tape where my furniture is going to go, so then I can actually make a decision where the heater's going to go. Right, so that's next. So I've swept the van out. I've marked out where the kitchen unit's going to go. I've marked out where the bed's going to go, all along there, as you can see. Now the heater I've put in the corner, and that's exactly where mine is in my camper. And as you can see, I've raised it, and to raise it I've used these furniture legs. Now I've got to admit, it's not my idea. Okay, I didn't come up with that idea. I saw somebody else do that on their YouTube channel. There's a rather noisy van. Just wait for him to go by. You wouldn't go far in that, would you? What was I saying? Oh yeah. So yeah, these furniture legs, this idea here, I got that idea from a YouTuber called Mevy. So yeah, do feel free to check out his channel. I just wanted to mention that because I don't want to take credit for somebody else's great idea, and it is a fantastic idea. I was quite impressed when I saw him fit his heater. My one in my van, I've got it raised slightly, but only on little bits of wood, so there's not really much of an issue. But on this, if I was to fit it like this, my biggest concern is a fire risk from the exhaust, because the exhaust comes down from under the heater there, and it comes down. It's such a big area, and bearing in mind this is going to be enclosed. If I move back, so that's going to be right at the back of the kitchen cupboard, and it only takes something like even a bit of dust or a rogue bit of garment or something like that to end up under there and touching that exhaust, and we could end up with a fire. So I'm not really happy to fit it like that, purely because of the fire. Now I was thinking maybe I could put a heat shield around the legs, like put something around it to shield it in, to box it in if you like, but then you've got the risk of heat building up from the exhaust. And the fuel pipe is under there as well. There's a little pipe there, you can just see where the fuel pipe goes. And not only that, the inlet manifold, it's like a paper tube. So yeah, it just don't sit right with me. I'm not really that happy to put it there. Even though it's probably, you know, they do work well sat there, because you're drawing in fresh cold air from outside and introducing it into the van. And I know that the guy I'm building this van for, he wants to go up north, Norway or somewhere like that, where it's quite cold, so his heater's going to be used quite a lot. Unlike mine, I mean, I switch my heater on for half an hour and that's it. I switch it off. That's all I need is like half an hour just to warm it up. And my van's so well insulated, especially with this sliding divider, I don't need to leave it on all night. But then it don't really get that cold here in the UK. But if Leon's going to be going up north, I know he's going to be using this heater a lot more than I use mine. So I've come to a decision to actually put it under the bed down here. There's plenty of room for it. Well, there is a chassis rail that runs along here, but I think it will fit just nicely, just about. If I take it off, put it in place, I'll show you what I mean. So we'll just put that there. Obviously that's upside down, but if I wiggle out of the van on my knees, there we go. If we come outside the van and look underneath, I've placed a piece of timber up against the chassis rail there. You can just see it sticking up, and if you look at that and look where that is, it's probably just enough room. That will just come the right side of that chassis rail. There you go. I have measured it as well, and it will fit. So for safety's sake, I really think that that's where it should go. I've got this theory: if you keep it simple, keep it safe, you're not going to go wrong. So that's where I'm going to put the heater, right there. But to do that, I need to cut the floor away. I need to remove some of that flooring so that the heater is actually on the floor of the van, so it's attached to the metal floor of the van and not to the wood. Otherwise, what's the point? It's still going to have a fire risk, right? So that's my next job. Take up that one piece of bit of flooring. Luckily it's laminate flooring, so I don't have to take the whole thing up. I can actually take that one piece out, do what I need to do, fit the heater in place, and then yeah, job will be good. Right, so it's such a nice day. Well, it was. It's gone a bit cloudy now, but my van out there, there's my camper van, just parked across the road. So I'm going to spend the rest of the day cleaning my van out. I might even do a little tour video, and I'll upload that video later on in the week. Yeah, I'm going to leave it now. I'm going to crack on with my van, do some work on my van. I'm going to leave that there as it is. So if you like this video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, 'cause it makes all the difference. And if you are new to my channel, do please consider subscribing. Don't forget to hit the notification bell if you want to see me turn the rest of this van into a camper. Most importantly, please do feel to leave a comment below. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask them. I do answer all the questions eventually. Some of them, for some reason, don't show up on my phone. They only show up when I use my laptop. I don't quite know why, but that's just the way it is. So if I don't answer your question straight away, that's probably why. But I will get round to everyone, answer everybody's questions. Like I say, thanks for watching. Ta-ra for now. See you on the next one.